welcome to another Girl World reading. I am the Jimmy Jam Oracle. Thank you for joining me today, and we thank the spirits for joining us today and helping us out with this reading. All right, so today I'm doing Hungryfatchick, Candy, which I prefer to call her. I hate calling her Hungryfatchick. So the latest news with her that I know of is that she is going to have her ex-husband living with her. They've done this before. Apparently they must get along pretty well in order to do that. So let's do a 7-card read, which is it's a little bit more detailed than the 3-card reads that I usually do. And let's ask, sorry, my cards like to jump out at me because I'm not a very good shuffler. So let's ask the spirits. Candy and her ex-husband are moving in together, or he's moving in with her, that is, for at least a little while, maybe a month. Tell us, how does that go? What's the outcome? What's it going to be like with him staying with her? Any drama? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me have that little candle right here. 7. All right. You may not be able to see all the. Well, you might be able to see all the cards. If nothing else, I'll put it right there so you can see it very well. Okay. Let me get situated. Let me pull these back a little bit. Sorry, I know I like to rearrange the cards. I just want you guys to be able to see them. That's all. And I have my handy dandy guidebook with me because I'm still new at this. I'm not ashamed to admit it. All right, so the first card is the past card. And what do we have? We have the Star. She is reversed for me. So we're going to do, what's her number? She's 17. Oh, she was literally the next page. All right, so you may face disappointment, perhaps due to your own stubbornness. An unfulfilling social or business association is coming to an end. Good riddance. Unfulfilling social or business association. May face disappointment. Okay, so the facing disappointment and social association coming to an end very well could be an indicator of when he was living with her in the past. I guess that didn't end very well. I think she took the fault for it because she said she just wasn't used to living with anyone and she kind of preferred being alone, which could indicate the good riddance, you know, like if she was used to being alone and finally got rid of her house guest, she would have been like, oh, thank God, I'm finally alone again, which I get the feeling because I like being alone in the house, even though it's pretty rare these days. But yeah, so that could be a card indicating that she was happy to watch him leave the first time. So we have the present situation, which is the 8 of Cups. Boop, there you go. So let's get 2 cups. Here we go. It's right side up for me. It says, don't walk away from a situation just before its completion. Don't turn your back on success. You may be leaving a long-standing relationship. So, long-standing relationship, I think that's probably an indicator. It kind of confirms for me that this situation is about her ex-husband, because even though, like, they were married and then divorced and then, you know, separated, it does seem like they do have a fairly, like, communicative relationship. They still talk. They still seem to be really friendly with each other. But it does say don't turn away from a situation just before its completion. She does seem nervous about letting him move in, which that could be, that could just be showing her nerves in the present situation. All right, then we have what is helping. So what is helping in this situation? The Hierophant. Ooh, and he is right side up for me. Now the Hierophant, if I remember correctly, is a religious symbol. Yeah, he symbolizes the Pope. spiritual father. Mind, body, spirit. He also represents organized religion or orthodox ideas. The card offers mercy and compassion and indicates a need for approval and conformity. Okay, so I think it's the mercy and compassion. Not so much for her ex-husband, but I feel like it's for her son. Because right now, the ex-husband is living with their son. And I think she's thinking, like, okay, my son, he's young and he doesn't really want or is ready for, like, the burden of, like, having his father live with him. And I think that's the merciful part of the situation, is that she's taking pity on her son and be like, okay, you know what, I'm going to take your dad for a while. And, you live your life, you take care of you. And I just think that's where the mercy is coming from. Perhaps it is mercy for her ex-husband as well, even though I don't really get that impression in the video that I watched. We have obstacles. Obstacle card. We have the 7 of Swords. Oop. Oh, no, swords are in the back. There we go. It says, your efforts will be partly successful. Ooh, perhaps it's time for a new plan. Don't let fantasies interfere with the task at hand. All right, so if this card is indicating an obstacle, I would say the obstacle is the fantasies part. It says, don't let fantasies interfere with the task at hand. Which fantasies, I'm not 100% sure about. I do know that the last time he was staying with her, they got along a little too well. Like, he was giving her jewelry and she was getting kind of, like they were kind of feeling each other a bit, I think. And perhaps it didn't work out the way she wanted it to. Like, perhaps that was the fantasy of, like, maybe they were going to get back together. And I think she's afraid to let him move in because of that fantasy. Like, she's afraid she's going to do it again. Like, she's just going to have those emotions again. And I think even though, like, she was happy to have gotten rid of him the first time, could have been because, like, finally she's going to get away from that fantasy of something that's never going to happen. But, she's kind of, it took the hope out of the situation so that she can, like, handle her heartbreak by herself. You know what I mean? I think so. Right now, the obstacle in the current situation is that she's afraid she's going to circle back around and do the exact same thing, which I get. I mean, he's an ex-husband. They were romantic at one point. She loved him at one point. No reason why those emotions can't come back. Oops, let's find out what this card is. The attitudes of others. This is always an interesting one. Judgment. Okay. Judgment's number 20. Although I feel like Judgment's pretty self-explanatory. Oh, it is the card of transformation. A fresh start is possible. It is time to forgive and forget, or perhaps do some soul searching. Okay. So, the attitudes of others. So, this is the attitude of people who aren't in the current situation, typically. It's people outside of the situation. So, I don't know if this is, like, family. It does seem like it could be family, especially the forgive and forget part. It's in the soul searching. Like, perhaps she's kind of, like, again, there's this uneasiness, like, over here. And then, of course, we have, like, the mercy. But, and, what am I trying to say? Sorry. We have the obstacle card here. So, like, I got a feeling, like, she's uneasy because of what's happened in the past. And perhaps her children or friends or somebody close to her is saying, hey, you know what? Forgive and forget. That was in the past. Or it could be her ex-husband himself. He's like, hey, you know what? It wasn't that big of a deal. Forgive and forget. Perhaps that's his attitude over the situation. What the questioner should do. So this is what Candy should do. We have the 2 of Cups. I believe the Two of Cups is like another like relationship card, I think. Yep, it says a relationship has too many ups and downs. Open the lines of communication to avoid misunderstandings. Yes, avoid misunderstandings. So that goes into like her kind of misinterpreting the situation from before, as you know, he was really nice to her, he was doing things for her. He was, you know, he had given her a ring and a necklace to hold on to, and maybe she felt like he was coming on to her. And that whole situation ended when she realized that he really wasn't interested in having a relationship. And, you know, she was a little bit heartbroken, but, you know, again, we have the forgive and forget. And so this card is saying what she should do is just be upfront and be honest and just have that communication with him so that, you know, they understand what page they're on and how they're going to do this. It's a really good card. All right, I don't need to look up what the last card is. Last card is always the outcome card, the most important one. We have the Two of Pentacles. It is reversed. So last pentacles are in the front. It says you appear skilled at multitasking, but are you putting on a false front? It's not as easy as it looks. Okay. So ultimately, it seems like perhaps he will be staying for the month, but it's not going to be as easy as it seems. Maybe it says she appears to be good at multitasking, or somebody does. So this kind of gives me an uneasy, like, she'll be partly successful. Like, she'll be able to have him there for the month that she says she's going to have him there, but it's not going to be easy for her. Physically, emotionally, probably emotionally. That's up to the spirits, I suppose. All right. But that was pretty good, right? Definitely something to keep an eye on. All right. Whoops. I had a couple of jumpers. All right. So at the end of the video, I like to do an intuition pull. This is a card just for you to thank you for being here today, just like we thank the spirits for being with us today. And what card do I want? I want this one just for you. What is it? It is the Ace of Cups, right side up for you. So let me read that for you real quick and we'll call it a day. It says, oh, bright beginnings. Is it the heady start of a love affair? You feel joy and optimism, fertility, abundance. All right. Go you. And again, we thank the spirits for joining me, or us, and I thank you for joining me. And I hope you have a great day.